his dramas, and he had special effects of Parshuram, and he had many of his mythological plays, and I used to love them. They were in Tamil, and my father, I believe, had worked with them in the 60s. And when Roja happened, everything happened, and then Shekhar again introduced me to Andrew Lloyd Webber, and I got a call from Andrew Lloyd. So I heard this name, who's this guy? So when I went there is when Andrew said, he heard all my songs, and he said, you got to take the mantle of musical theatre in the world. And so what is this man saying? I'm just doing a film composer. But then over years, this was like a medicine which worked on my mind. Why did he say that? And can you write stories, he asked. And then you realized India, for the past 5 decades, have been progressing in movies, but on the other side of arts is still, very, very, very lacking improvement in musical theatre, or we don't have our own symphony here, with the natives playing. There's so much of void in entertainment, in cultural richness of one side. I'm saying that's very culturally rich, but we didn't nurture the needs of the modern society. If any composer needs to do a big score, now you see the movies like Kalki, Bahubali, PS, and all this is coming in, and we need a big score. We can't have 100 sarangis or sitars, but we need an orchestral score because our movies are being seen by international audience. So we need to raise the bar, like how we have an airport, we have planes which travel internationally. It's not just bullock carts and stuff. So that forced me to start the K Music Conservatory, the Sunshine Orchestra, and in a very small way, but then we are happy about the progress of children transforming, winning international awards, and also being a part of our own musical thing. So like that musical theatre is something which we all go. We go to London, or we go to New York Broadway to see Lion King, Phantom of the Opera, Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story. Who comes here to watch anything? And I said, we have so many stories, we have our people, we have Bharatanatyam, we have Kuchipudi, we have so much art forms which are still, I felt, not augmented to a level where we can just watch, we can have like 3,000 people watching that stuff. So because of my knowledge, because of my Oscars, because of all my connections and exposure to the world, even a place like Thailand has, or Bali has their own culture, it's done very internationally. I've never seen anything like it, except for Lata Mangeshkar's initiative last year. I think it's a great initiative, and we've been talking about it from 2014. I saw from the initial stages of that when they're building. One is not enough. We have so many different states, and we have 1.4 billion people. And this is jobs, this is tourism, this is pride, and this is also unity, because everybody comes together to make something beautiful. Yeah.
So, are you going to incorporate the various musical theatre forms in India, into this initiative? Like, for example, Karnataka has Yakshagana, Bengal has Jatra, and so on. There are so many across India. So, apart from inculcating this in the KM Conservatory, how else can this musical form evolve? And with your help.
First is infrastructure. The places where we enjoy music, or the places where things like this is so outdated, is not being to the next level. Because people have seen, people are traveling, people go watch, and we come back to 1960s, we come back to 1950s, kind of. You look at the Sphere in Las Vegas, they've gone to the next level of immersivity. We can have thousands of people watching and enjoying together. And there's another reason why being a musician and going into storytelling mode and adapting VR and immersive and olfactory, to see is there any alternative to cinema? Not alternative, I think, which can coexist, so that people can also experience things which they can never experience in cinema. Like, now we all have mental health issues, depression, because I think there's a void in all of us. That void can be filled by storytellers, by philosophy, by entertaining in a way where you don't even know that you're taking medicine, but not just catering to your carnal needs like violence and sex and all this stuff. So there's much more than all this stuff. So it's all gone to the extreme now because we all become insensitive to a shot being kept for 1 minute or two. Oh, that's lagging, we're cutting it off. and that's what I think the new mediums are going to, if somebody's acting, they command you to look at them, because that's the power of human nature, power of the soul. And that's why I think musical theatre is very important. And that's why I've come to probably celebrate one of the greatest artists of all time, Lata Mangeshkar ji.
So we'll come to Lata ji in a minute, but just continuing the thought about musical theatre. How can the various musical theatres of India come together to contribute to nation building in what is now effectively a very young nation?
First of all, the presentation. You can't just have something which was done in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Now, there are so many tools now to elevate the experience, to augment the experience, which is how they feel. And in the world of artificial intelligence, where you can just tell a prompt and then it creates a visual, people are going to love musical theatre even more. They're going to love theatre even more because there is a sense of participation. Some families, oh, my cousin sister is doing this, my son is playing this, my daughter is doing this. All that stuff will come up. There'll be a reason for them to all come together and watch it because they are part of it. It's not like somebody else is doing and they're watching this. They are themselves a part of that one. So that is my dream and hope.
Now, I'm going to put Shekhar on the spot here for a second, and through you. He's sitting there watching everything. So you worked with Shekhar Kapoor on Bombay Dreams, obviously, and more recently on Why the Musical as part of the Dubai Expo. So, continuing your dream, do you envision a future where you're working with Shekhar again on something that incorporates the various musical theatres of India?
It's too early to say that. We've been planning a lot of things. When we sit, we just come up with ideas. He is such a great visionary. He just sits on a table, has a coffee, and comes with great ideas. And that's when I learned that that's so simple, just to sit there and create, and then some of them manifest, some of them don't. And some of them actually take time to come back. Like all these virtual characters now coming in was his idea 20 years back. He had a character called Maya, and he said all this stuff. Maya will be a digital character, digital avatar, and she'll be an influencer. It never happened because the technology was very expensive. It was expensive, but all the things he said 20 years back is now part of the life.
Well, I'm glad you said that because just 2 days ago, Shekhar was sitting here on this very seat and talking about the Mayaverse with Anand Gandhi, who's been working on it for a while. So hopefully that will come to fruition sooner rather than later. And coming to you mentioned infrastructure. So what is very important for musical theatre is live performances. Everything is live, right? So what do you think can be done to improve the infrastructure for musical theatre in India?
It's a very broad explanation because I find every city has got this jail we pay to get imprisoned inside, called flats. We are locked inside with Netflix, TVs. We can't walk, right? It drains you. Because we have a relationship with nature. That's why when I come to Kerala, Goa and Kerala and Bengal, I said Himachal and all those places, I feel like, oh my God, this is life. Even if they don't have money, this is expensive. You can't buy because we want to make more money, and we imprison ourselves into a life which we don't enjoy. We think we're going to enjoy it later and we die. So inspiration in architecture is very important. City planning is very important. I feel like we should clean up and make our cities inspiring for artists. Then only art will come. Right? There are a lot of things we can say. I think we can do it because we are a nation. We are amazing because I see Indians in NASA and Apple and Microsoft, Intel. I said, these guys are doing all the work here, but why not doing for India? Because I think we need to set up. And when the need arises, the door will open. when we realize something, we have a reason to work towards it. Somebody has to speak about this.
So the musical theatre of India exists very much. If you go down to the smaller towns and villages, the people really gather together and enjoy them.
It's still there, but like we were traveling in bullock carts and horse. Are we doing the same thing now? There's progression. There's trains and planes and then electric cars and all that stuff. The same kind of progress has to happen in entertainment too. So that is a collective progress, not just one. Same things can be done in a very different way, augmented way. And because I've done these shows, and every time I do a show, because I came as an introvert, and I was watching myself. Oh my God, will people give money to watch me? And what should I do to make that exciting? If I watch my program, it should be exciting, and then all the change happen. You look at yourself in the mirror, and the change will happen. And that's why for 25 years we've been evolving, and we go all over the world. We do some stuff. People celebrate. We're celebrating India through my music. So.
And apart from the work of Royston Abel and one or two people like that, the work, Indian musical theatre really hasn't traveled that much. And you mentioned earlier how we go to the West End of Broadway to watch plays or musicals.
And China, look at China.
And China. And Japan as well.
They're celebrating the culture in a whole new way. I think that should happen.
So, apart from an outpost like the Nita Ambani Cultural Center, do you have any plans of, expanding KM or the concept of KM into a theatre concept where people can come to this country to watch it?
Absolutely. I think what is so unique about every country is the culture which we're made up of, the color, our food style, and the way we talk our language, the sound of our languages. And that should be celebrated. I think that itself is fascinating. And if it's presented in a way where they can come and watch, wow, we can never replicate this. That's the whole idea. We don't want to do Romeo and Juliet. That's not our culture. But we could do our own thing where they can never replicate us. And that's the talent, when people do something, we are so unique because that's how we're made. Instead of being inferior about it, we should be celebrating and take it up 2 notches apart.
Well said. And now coming to Lata Mangeshkar, whose memory this series of events happens every year at IFFI.
But sorry, you said? I forgot the second answer. So I am collaborating with people now, like resorts, and I'm open to that stuff. And when people come to me, I take the whole project and envision, design the cultural center, and also starting what should be the technical plan, not starting copying something which America has done or England has done or Australia has done, but starting from if you're starting now, how should it be? How should it be ahead of everybody? Very immersive at the same time, multifunctionality in this stuff, and also the main thing is they teach in big universities like Harvard is how do you make money. It could be any idea, but if it doesn't make money, it's a flop. So that's the most important thing which I'm learning. Being a musician, I think meeting and the reason for things sustaining is always people involved are gaining something in a good way. And so that's when it gets self-financed and goes up.
So how do we make money? Because if you look at, again, going back to Broadway and West End, the tickets cost hundreds of pounds, hundreds of dollars, and they all go full. Like I've seen, I watched Bombay Dreams thrice, right? And it was full every time, in its first year, end of the second year, and so on. But India is a very price-conscious market. So
but we don't pay people that much because our cost of living is lower. So everything can be adjusted to that stuff, right? There, I think to rent a flat or food, everything is expensive, and you have to pay 40% tax. All that stuff, 40-50%, I don't know what it is.
I pay 40%.
Okay, so things are different here. So according to that, things will.
And so do you have a blueprint You said you're collaborating with people.
Yeah, we have two ideas. One is almost complete, waiting for permission, and we'll very soon release how the design of that is very inspiring, I think. And people will love it. In Chennai, of course.
And,
Once we finish Chennai, we can do copy paste.
And do you have a timeline for that?
I think the design got completed in January, and I will reveal everything because once it happens, I think I'll reveal it. I don't want to prematurely reveal. Maybe in a year, it'll start construction, and in a couple of years, we'll wrap things ready. And also, Shekhar and myself, we're planning for musical ideas. Kiran Nadaji is doing something in Delhi, and everybody's opening up. Because I've been speaking about this for the past 6-7 years, ranting out.
Well, and now the dream is going to come to fruition very soon.
Also, the reason why I spoke about is in 2008 when I started considered the musical, the College of Music, Western Classical, Indian, and all that stuff. I never expected the kind of impact those children, after learning, transforming, would give. And I said, oh my God, this is so good. And I pay money, dollars, to watch this in Broadway. Why can't our people watch this? And it would be like just 10-15 minutes of Romeo and Juliet and West Side Story and Carmen and all those things. And year by year, the question is, where will these kids go after excelling in this and becoming world class? That question comes and goes. You started something, now you have to finish it. You have to complete it or take it to the next level, and then art center or world class infrastructure for them to perform, for people to come and watch. I recently did a show and I wanted to test out, and we had 39,000 people buying tickets and 70,000 people landed up in Chennai. There was a ruckus. But the test, nothing. Thank God, no bad things happened. Nobody died. I always pray that people should be safe and all that stuff. There's a wide of entertainment. There's a wide of, this gives happiness. Even when we are performing for 3.5 hours, 4 hours, anywhere in the world, we forget we are one with the people. It's like a shrine of peace and love and happiness. And that's what we need today. Right?
Absolutely. So, speaking of peace and love and happiness, let's come back to Lata Mangeshkar. So, tell us about your experiences of growing up with her music and eventually working with her.
So I come from the next generation. I listen to P. Shishilaji, and in South India, Janaki, Chitraji. And so my revelation of Lataji came in the 90s. And when I met Naushad Saab and then I was listening to Mughal Asam, and oh my God, what is this? And then I went back to guide and all the S.D. Burman and Mother Mohan and stuff, and then I said, oh my God. And then Lata Mangeshkar's, Meera. And then how anybody could go to the pinnacle of perfection, dedication, sacrifice for an art. And that actually inspired me. It inspired me, like one day I never used to practice before going to stage because I'm a composer. People understand if I sing off. So she invited us to perform in Hyderabad once, and so we performed, and she was a part of it too. So I finished the rehearsal and I was about to go take a little nap around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And from her room, she was practicing all the songs for an hour and a half. I said, my God, this is Lata Mangeshkar practicing the songs, which are very simple. So very Khamoshiyan, all the stuff. That's when I changed. Then I started doing riyas before the show. And because I'm all over the place, I compose, arrange, and correct lyrics, record strings sometimes, and also talk with the lyric writers. So you don't have time for riyas. And the riyas only comes before the show, where a couple of days back, before the show, I'd start, and so that the pitching comes correctly. That's when people ask me to sing, I shy away, because I want to, it's an exercise where you finish that and then go to.
And do you recall the very first time you met her?
Yes, I think. It's for Jiajali, I think. She came to Chennai and she hung out. And then there's always because getting praise from her is very difficult because she's attained that kind of perfection. And so she was there, and I think she was, what is this little room? What is happening? And yeah, it was, I still, I think one day I was doing this Kapil Sitalji's album, I think 2014, and she was not well. So I was waiting for her for 3 months. Before, all those songs were very, very quickly done. But this one, I think she had no apprehension. So she gave a date, and it came all the way from LA to record her. We went to the studio, and she said, I don't feel well. So I went back. But it's more than I think our body of work and an aura of the behavior, sacrifice, and dedication to the art that inspires all of us. Yeah.
And what else can young aspiring singers take away from the legacy of Lata Mangeshkar?
I think today, I think there are two extremes. One extreme is like they don't see Instagram, nothing. They just sit and practice. They stun you. And like, Anjali Gaikwad and all those little kids from Aurangabad. I was stunned when I listened to her. And then the other extreme is like, how do you make a quick song, release it with dance, which is fine because people, there are many ways to art. There's not one single way. And that's how it should be. If everybody sounds like Lataji, then it will be boring, right? Yeah. They should have their own personality. The personality comes from digging their own self and looking at themselves in the mirror of art and say, why should people listen to me? This is the question, everybody. Why should people listen to my song? Why should people watch my movie? Find the void and then fill that up.
And coming back to, apart from Lata Mangeshkar, you've had several musicians who have influenced your music and your career. Can we go through some of them, both from India and outside? Like, for example, Kalamandalam Sajid Vijayan from Kerala.
Oh, the harmony.
Yeah. I just picked out the ones from Harmony because people are likely to have seen those.
Yeah. So I think for me, all my life I've just searched for expression, appreciated, complimented. If I found whether in the West or Iran or Africa, and for me, what it feels emotionally was more important than how they did it or where they came from. I didn't care about that. The outcome of this was also interesting to see that how their mind works. Why are they what they are? So Harmony, these four artists were really, really important at that point of time, and people are still watching all this stuff. One from Manipur. And
yeah, there's Bahauddin Dagar, then there's Lorembam Bedapati from Manipur, and Mikma Shering Lepcha from Sikkim.
Yeah, Bahauddin Saab actually, he taught something very, very beautiful, which I also, I think, have a little bit. And I said, how many ragas do you know? He said, I know a few, but it takes years to perfect one, and then I'll move to the next one. Because my music is not competition. So I'm not competing with anybody, I'm not competing with myself, because it's nature of music, to just be. It's like a garden where the rose is not blooming for anybody, but that's its nature.
And you also work very closely with the Firdaus Orchestra in Dubai, which is like an all-woman orchestra, right? So how did that come about? And you formed the orchestra, but have they in turn influenced your life and your work?
I think because of Sunshine Orchestra, and from nothing we brought an orchestra from our own people. When Shekhar said, come and meet the lady, Excellency Rimal Hashmi, he bridged me to that. And that time I think I needed a break. It was COVID. And the whole process was exhausting in a way, because you're dealing with emotions, you're dealing with women, you're dealing with very sensitive issue at that region called music. And so courageously we did this. We said, let's see. And I said, if you need an orchestra, you need a studio, then you need a place where they stay. It can't be just they're put up in some building where they need an identity. And the UAE is a very young country now, right? The modern UAE is a very young country. I felt like, what can we give them is culture, where they can buy anything, but what if somebody puts something together and that actually has something in a years, if they can do something, it should be world class. And yeah, that was the idea, the long term. My contract is over now, I'm free.
What did you learn from that experience?
Learning wise, it was more like work. Because I wanted them to be one of the best walks in the world. So we found the conductor, we found how to do the practice, how to bring the best out of them. It's like saying that making a fish climb a tree, but they had Arabic maqam, kind of training, part of them, and they had Western classical group. So we tried to bridge both Arabic, Western classical, Indian. So we used them for PS. And most of that time, whatever films I did, When the Dani Carter, the whole quartet and chamber orchestra. And also I was free to experiment with my sound, because Western classical is a very guarded kind of a thing. So I had the freedom to do, I've done an arrangement on the Moonlight Sonata, with just 4 of them. And then around 15 to 20 pieces for them, which is not released yet. And one of them is called Humanitas, about space. One is called Rise, about, one is called Calm, one is called Untold Stories. So all these pieces are yet to come, but some of them I'm really proud of.
What is guarded about Western classical music?
What is?
Guarded about Western classical music. Isn't that what you said just now?
I think the quality. People guard the quality of excellence, because so you have something beautiful, and then like internet also. The very beautiful things, they're also very low class things. Everybody has a voice, the democracy in a way, but it's not curated like how we had curated music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. So everybody can put, and then good things get lost in the bad things. There are a million bad things, there are 10 good things, and that 10 good things could be just marketed, and the good things, real good things, are maybe hidden. So it's a clutter, and it's a strange situation actually.
And some time ago, going back to the Middle East, some time ago we spoke about, you said about working with the musicians of Ras Al Khaimah and the hills above Ras Al Khaimah for Baab. Yeah. So can you tell the audience about that experience, because that was something.
It's not started yet.
Not started yet. Okay, but you're doing some research there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And when can we expect to hear that?
They're restructuring the project, I think. Yeah, very soon.
Now, moving on to, again, sorry, Shekhar, I keep coming back to you, and you mentioned Andrew Lloyd Webber. How was that experience? What can you tell? I know it was a long time ago, but what did you learn from that experience and working in the West End?
To do my own laundry, buy my own food, make my own coffee. Never in my life I've done, because my mom and my sisters and my family always like, whatever you need, boom, it comes. I can't even lift the glass to put it in the kitchen, so I had the freedom to do all that, do my own Whole Foods shopping, getting my juices or vegetables and all that. So that is also freedom, because here I've been, from the age of 13, I've been on TV, so I'm not new to fame. People used to recognize me all over India. I used to come in Wonder Balloon. But that, going to London for, Andrew actually hosted us, he gave us flat, and it was a beautiful, very generous. And even now, he talks about me, it's incredible to see how generous his words are. It gives you pressure. You have to live up to that. Then it meets around 20 acres, so we don't have that in Chennai. But I showed him the Meta project, which I'm doing, this 6 different diverse virtual musicians, and showed him the teaser and all this stuff. He's always fascinated with whatever I do, and I'm fascinated with him to have the zest at this age to go in and do reality shows and playing in. So inspiring to see people fighting it out.
And I'm sure you've said this before, but there's lots of new people in the audience. How is it like working with Michael Jackson?
Well, we almost worked. So post Oscars, I met him, and he said, "Why don't we do the next We Are the World?" And I told him at the meeting to Mr. Shankar when I came back, I was doing Indian. He said, "It'll be great if you guys do a song." I called him. He said, "Whatever you say." Then back again, and he was starting his tour. Then 3-4 months he died. So, but I never took a photograph. I felt like this admiration is beyond his photograph. I should not trouble him because he had his nose plastered. But won't embarrass him. So that's one of my most proudest moment that I take a photograph with him. Gave him his face.
So, by the same token, what do you feel like when so many people want to take selfies with you?
I mean, I'm in a good mood. I think I love it. But I'm going through challenges, so I have to cross to catch the next flight, and people come in and say, "Oh my God!" But in their perspective, is understandable because not everybody gets this attention. It's a blessing that they like me. They're coming for something, and people don't realize. I think it's overwhelming love because one day I was having dinner with my family, and we rarely go out, right? Kids, family, and everything. And there was one lady, one family who got up, and they said, "Can I have photographs?" I was about to eat, and they said, "I'm eating, but we have to go." And sorry, I'm eating. Can I finish and come? Okay, we'll wait, but please make it fast. Not one. This is 10 different situations, same. Not just one family. Because I think they're like, what if we also take a photograph? Get him out. It's also a sense of belonging. I understood that they're not rude. They don't understand how precious it is for a person like me to be with the family. Right? Yeah.
And now, tell us about working with Mick Jagger and Dave Stewart, etc. in Super Heavy.
I think, it took me a while. I met Dave Stewart with Shaker again. Shaker is like the connection bridge of. So he suddenly called up around 2008 and said, I'm building a super band and I want you in it as the Indian counterpart. I said, "What super band? What are you doing? What is my role?" He said, "No, you can do this something, some arrangement, you can write songs." So I landed up in, it was exactly around the time when my engineer died, Sridhar died, the Bombay shootout happened, and I had floods in my studio, all this stuff. So I said, "I need to get out of this place, it's very dark." I said, "I'm coming." So I landed up in Henson Studios, and there's one side where Damien Marley was there, one side where Mick Jagger was there, one side where Dave Stewart and Joss Stone. Then I'm just sitting up and I'm like, what am I doing here? It's because I've never worked with a band. Like, we played with the band for covers, not an original band. And I said, "Who's Mick Jagger? What has he done?" So I was Googling and asked Dave, tell me his greatest songs. I know this band, I've seen him on TV, but what are the songs? And I was listening to all the stuff, and then I understood he's another MJ. And so we started working for 10 days. In that time, I was doing my Oscar promotions also. In the day, I think half a day I'll be working with them. I'll go for the Oscar promotions, come back, and go London. Then 2 years later, we were on the yacht of Paul Allen, like rock stars, helicopter, submarine, and a ship called Odyssey, in which Paul Allen's ship, and he had a studio. And we recorded probably.
And this is Paul Allen of Microsoft.
Microsoft, yeah. So he was a very kind man, very generous man, a lot of respect. And so my first experience as a rock star, without drinking or having other things, just hanging out doing music and watching the fun, what people were doing.
And are you likely to repeat that experience?
I don't know. And he's passed away, and well, I don't know.
I was at
Unless you have a recommendation.
well, I was talking specifically about the Stones. I was at their album launch, I think last summer, the Hackney album, the Hackney Diamonds album, and they performed small set, maybe about 20-25 minutes, but the energy for people of that age is quite something. So I'm going to tie that back to the topic of today, which is the musical theatre in India. So it's not just about finding the music, it's also about sustaining the music. So what can we learn from the longevity of the Stones, some of whom you worked with, and transpose that into your musical theatre project?
I think original ideas always have longevity. Because when you go back, when it's a derivation, it fizzles out because some other derivation comes better. But if something comes originally, was carefully, sculptured into a project, and then that comes, like Bombay Dreams was original, even though the stories were about, so it made the whole world look up. They were stunned by the first brown musical there. Whole people, I saw people from Russia and Europe and America, all coming just for curiosity. They thought it's a fort which only certain people had the privilege, but that broke. And thanks to Shekhar who introduced me, and thanks to Anurag Weber and the whole team. Yeah. So anything which has not been done before and which has a personality of its own could be always celebrated. If you look at the style of Rajinikanth, did anybody else do that? No. Same thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, meeting Rajinikanth every time is like a force field. Right? So, going back to things that you have done before, but then you have redone, like you worked with Will I Am on one of your most popular songs, Urvasi Urvasi, and the kind of English language version. How did that happen?
So they asked for permission, and I said, "Go ahead, do it." Then, yeah, so very simple.
You didn't collaborate with them?
No, the music is already there, right? The music, the melody, everything was there. I said, and we had this idea of taking some of the songs and making them in English for the wider audience to see. And everything requires energy and patience, and I'd rather do something new than take something old.
And we've talked about your influences in India and also working with the Middle East, but you've also worked with China in Warriors of Heaven and Earth. So what were the learnings from that experience, and if any, and have you included that in your repertoire?
Yes, I think I was listening to a lot of Chinese, of course, of Standon who did Crouching Tiger, and before that, all of them are pentatonic scores, which is Mohanam for us in South India, Carnatic. So I said, what if we have more darker motives for this? And because there is also Western China, Uyghur, and they have Turkmenistan kind of influence and all that stuff. And so if you look at, and also alternate time signatures, 5/8. 5/8 is very Indian actually. So it was an experiment. Like I went for the premiere. It was very funny. Most of the actresses were drunk, but they were they were hosting me beautiful with a lot of respect. Person for premiere, and went to the Forbidden City, and I didn't have a clue what they were thinking. And some of the drunk ones are like, the best thing about this movie is your music. And okay, compliment, drunken compliment.
Any compliment is a compliment.
And also Jolin Sai was now very big in Taiwan. I think she's a singer. And now I went to Singapore and I learned that she's one of the biggest artists. 22 years back, she was hanging out in Chennai, doing her nails and singing. She was so all this stuff is nice to see, evolution of artists.
And a few days ago, Mani Ratnam was here in conversation with Gautam Menon, and as always, he was full of praise for you. In particular, he talked about your background score for Ponniyin Selvan, and he said you went beyond the obvious underscoring of scenes and found two or three layers underneath. So, how did you react to the pictures you were seeing for Ponniyin Selvan? And part two of the question is, what are the challenges of scoring for a period film?
I think a bit of research needed. And we actually started the Ponniyin Selvan scoring of like 8 years before that, and it stopped. But that was very traditional, contrived kind of a vision where, but then that didn't work. The world was changing, the experience of how they experience the theatre is changing. So, but still we need to have our Indianness in it, and we need to embrace grandeur in the music. And the grandeur should be articulated in a way where it's very original and think like also go to the deepest roots of South India. Like maybe this is the kind of style. So imagination was very important. When I saw the movie first, I know I'm just such a big fan of Maniji, and then because Bahubali and all these things came, I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I was like, 2 months, I don't know what to do. Like, I said, okay, the easiest way is like taking songs and take those themes out. But he said, I was in Dubai doing Y that time, so my sensibility was English and Arabic and all this stuff. So I said, let me finish this, get it out of my system, then start. So he said, you don't like the movie? He said, why, sir? Why have you started? I said, I want to give my fullest, so I want to finish these projects and dive in. I said, fair enough. But anyway, the CG is going on, so you take your time. So I understood that. And then slowly I started sending him stuff. We finished the mixing and I watched the movie and I said, can you do a little more? He was looking at me. I said, do whatever, it's your studio, mixing in your studio, you do whatever. Then I went one day and took off some of the stuff, repeated some of the things. And till the last moment it was evolution. Like, what else can we do? How to make it exciting? And then I just saw it 3-4 days back, and the visuals are stunning, and only Mani Ratnam can do that.
Yes. Now, before we throw it open to the audience, I had a couple of questions about the future. People in India are still waiting to watch Le Masque, which you directed and which is a complete interactive VR experience, and this time with smell as well, right? So, how can people in India watch your masterwork in visual masterwork?
Even though I'm from India, because this idea was so unique at that time, and which I've kind of felt when speaking about this to Intel and everybody, I felt like initially I was supposed to do it in Tamil and then Hindi maybe, and then I said let's not do it in Indian languages because then we'll go into dubbing into Telugu and Tamil and Hindi, and let it be in English, let it come from India to the world. So that was the idea, and then we went ahead and shot, done something which I'd never done before, but every day was like nightmares. What is going to happen tomorrow? What if people find out that I don't know anything? So like Austin will say, no, how did you do all this? He said, ignorance. And because it's a new technology, whenever they would come and correct me, I said, you're correcting a VR thing. I've done a previous, I've seen it. You're talking about movie, 2D movie. This is not 2D movie. Okay, sorry. They're all because Italians, like, the passion for cinema is so huge for them. And all of them, first 3 days thought it's a disaster. They were like, what is this guy doing? And then 4th day, 5th day, we saw some of the visuals and they were like, oh my God, this is so good. They all became a part of it. We shot for around 12, 13 days. And you all know about what it was supposed to be was, we were supposed to upload all those visuals, 24 cameras into the net, to come stitched, and it came as a disaster again. And we said, what are we going to do? So we have to manually stitch it. And it took like 4 years, taking every bit, every camera, stitching it. But what's good about it is India was not, the whole world was not ready for it anyway at that time. It was too far ahead of its time. And it was hosted on a chair which was very expensive. So we said we got the IP from the chair and we manufactured Coimbatore. Now we have 20 chairs ready to go to other parts of the world. And I think I felt very good seeing these chairs in my place, ready to be exported. And for the first time I felt like, other than music, there's also technology being exported. And first to Singapore, I think, getting into Singapore.
So for IFI 2025, can we expect to see you and the chair and La Musk?
Yeah, sure.
It is an experience not to be missed. I've had the privilege of that experience.
I want to talk about more?
Yeah.
What did you feel about it?
Firstly, all my previous VR experiences, I got nausea, which means I just wanted to vomit. But here, despite the chair moving, and it was 37 minutes long, which I think was one of the longest VR experiences I've had. Absolutely no nausea. It was really smooth, and I came out not shaky at all.
Yeah, I think that is the main thing. As I told you about curating things, the word VR is so now generic. It's like a universe, and there are good things, bad things, very, very bad things. So we wanted us to be the best of that, and we took our time, and that's why anybody who says, no, I don't like VR will come out as, this is different. I love this. I want to be in this world. All these, you see all the testaments.
And this last question is going to be a very tip of the iceberg question, but how is AI enhancing your music or not?
AI was part of, like when I play an arpeggiator on a keyboard, it was there from '84. So if I play a D major chord, goes, that's AI in a way. It intelligently shifts. It's just advanced mode of that now. But some of them are ethical, some of them are unethical. They're stealing people's, soul, and they mix it like a khichdi and put it out, and nobody knows it's stealing without how people download software from the internet. So there's a very good. My dream of AI is like if you can empower people who don't have access to tools, to painting, to visuals and many things. We can empower them to speed up. We can change India, right? Not taking people out of jobs, but empower people who didn't have the access to tools and make them a part of the nation building. And I talk about cities, art, and all this stuff. This could be used for that. Give it to the kids, and they'll change the whole cityscape and make it more beautiful. Come up with solutions.
That takes me back to Shekhar's 15-year-old prompter in a slum in Mumbai, which he said during his masterclass a couple of days ago. So we'll throw it open to a few questions from the audience. We have...
I am studying at the National School of Drama, New Delhi. So we study all sorts of theatre, all sorts of music theatre like Yakshagan, Tamasha, Ankya Bhavana, Nautanki and whatnot. So I wanted to ask that on a global level, when we talk about musical theatre, why do we only talk about harmonizing and symphonies and orchestra, and not about Indian music, which is actually primarily just a tanpura and any percussion instrument, regional percussion instrument?
Yeah, the thing about is, why are we buying aircraft from Boeing? Because it's world class. So the soul could be from India, but the way it's presented has to be world class, so that everybody can understand.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. We talk about India, how great we are. That's a very good thing. But that's like a frog in the well. We need to expand. We need to think how can we get money into India? How can we progress these kids not to be condescended in a Western society? How can they lift their, which is happening, Sundar Pichai, you see all the CEOs, in that level is happening. In art, you are caricature. So.
Thank you so much, sir.
The lady in the yellow.
Sir, thank you, sir. Sir, I have two questions for you. Main motto of EFI this year is entertainment for all. So you mentioned about your project in Chennai and collaborating with some resorts for musical theatre. So can we expect that all your venues will be accessible and inclusive so that we persons with disabilities also can enjoy like all others? And second one is, we have a not-for-profit and we are trying to encourage persons with disabilities to shine in arts. So we have very good singers also. Do you have any programs for persons with disabilities to support them in training music? These are my two questions, sir.
No, I'm a big, I've been supporting the Ability Foundation in Chennai, and I've done, performances with some of them. They're incredible, because what you don't have, the other part responds even better. I feel like you're gifted with something else. And I think one by one, definitely. And it's important to be very inclusive. And even in my school, I have a ramp going in. And I think about all these things. But first is to get the main thing, succeed.
Thank you, sir. Because a person like you, if you talk about accessibility, inclusivity,
Absolutely.
then all the people
Even
will
if you take my
start.
movie, 99 Songs, you see one of the characters, she can't speak. Yeah, that's why it's inspired with the Ability Foundation. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Gentleman over there.
Good afternoon, sir. Rahman sir, I met you in 1995 for the cassette approval of Bombay, Saji Pillai. And recently I sent you the sample of vinyl record. We have started vinyl record manufacturing in Mumbai after 45 years.
Yes, I'm very thrilled about that.
Thank you. And what do you think about it? Because you love analog. I think you love analog better than digital. How about this format coming back to, like really largely?
See, now we have everything on digital. We have the movies on, cloud. What if all the cloud fails? What if all the music, all the movies will disappear? There's something so nice to have a physical, entity in your hand.
Right.
So that way, even if you don't listen to it, having a record is a respect to the artist. And
When am I getting an opportunity to press your record, sir?
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's go to the back. There's in the middle of,
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Speaking about roots, sir, the technologies has been developing, but the composition-wise, sir, including of roots like ragas into the. Can I speak in Tamil, sir?
Please go ahead.
சார் நம்ம முன்னாடி கம்பேர் பண்ணுறப்ப நீங்கள் வந்து இந்த ரூட்ஸை உள்ளே இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்காக நிறையா விஷயங்கள் பண்ணுறீங்க சார் இப்போ இம்ப்ரோவைசேஷன்ஸாக. பட் ஆனால் என்னோட கொஸ்டின் என்னென்னா, இப்போ ஒரு மியூசிக் ப்ரொடியூசராக ஒரு மியூசிக் ப்ரோக்ராமராக என்னோட மியூசிக்கில் நான் எந்தளவு அதை இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணணும் சார்? அண்டு கோயிங் நம்ம இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் ஈடியமாக போயிட்டுருக்கோம், நம்மளோட ட்ராக்ஸ் எல்லாமே பாலிவுட்டிஷாக கமர்ஷியல்ஸாக போயிட்டுருக்கு. அப்போ எப்படி சார் நம்மளோட சவுண்டிங்ஸை வந்து நம்ம ரூட்ஸை இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணி கொண்டு போக முடியும்?
The question is, how much of our roots do we include in our
Raman is
music?
Tamil. I think nothing will be taught to you. When you ask that question, the answer will come to you. Simple. Yeah. Because your mind is already knows the problem. Your solution will come to you. Just keep looking. That's it. I don't have to tell you that.
Thank you, sir. As a junior, for me, what is your advice, sir?
Just keep looking. Don't sleep.
There's a lady with the glasses on the left side. Can you just give it to her? Thank you.
Hello, sir. I'm Abhirupa. Sir, so much of your music is, I'm not going to praise it because everybody's already done it, but there is a quality of transcendence in it. And what I wanted to ask is, what are the internal and external processes that you go through as an artist to ensure that you're in that state of mind? Because you are able to create it in every project of yours. So
Thank you. Very kind. Everything is, our face is a reflection of our mind, they say, and our art is a reflection of internal thing. And what my internal consciousness, till I'm restless, I never compose. I just do something else. And my composition thing comes when I'm in a Zen mode. I've spoken about this before. I'm not angry, I'm not hungry, I'm not sleepy. It is very rarely in a week I find slots of that. Maybe 1 hour or 2 is when I sit, when I'm completely physically and mentally stable. Stable in the sense, fresh and almost like an empty vessel. So, a clean empty vessel, so something gets filled on. Yeah.
The gentleman in the middle with the black shirt, you. Yeah.
So how did Lata Mangeshkar influence you?
What happened?
How did Lata Mangeshkar influence you in your career? Or like, what was the influence?
I think you already answered that, right? Like,
No, I can answer that. I can answer it in 1,000 ways. So when you get inspired by certain people like Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab, Michael Jackson, Lata Mangeshkar, they define excellence. And when you're writing a song and you say this is enough, or when you have a composition and then you know this is enough, then you compare it with, is it as good as what Lataji did with Hridayanand Mangeshkar or Madan Mohan, or is the lyrics as good as what they did those days, emotionally connecting? They've set a standard for everything. So we can't copy that, but we can take it as an inspiration, move on, and in our own way keep our standards up.
the gentleman in the front in the cap.
Hi, sir. Very good evening. Sir, I have seen you playing a beautiful concert recently at Mysore for Yuva Dasara. So I just have a simple question. Like when a main artist is performing, before that there will be prior to you an artist who will give you a start for what you do. Sometimes I have also observed the person who gives the start will overperform better than the main artist. And this has also happened in Yuva Dasara in one of the performances. But how much effect does that give for the original artist who is going to actually play?
That's very subjective, no? So I can't answer that.
Okay, but does that create any impact?
It's very subjective. What you think is excellent. Sometimes you might find that the newness of the artist who's opening is better. But people are coming to the artist and his or her musicality and impact on them. Yeah.
Okay, and 2 words about Ravi Basroor, sir, if you have any.
Ravi Basroor, I spoke to him and in fact sent him a JBL speaker. I asked JBL because it's not easy to take something so big and pull it off. I think he's pulling it off well. God bless him.
There's a lady at the very back in the middle row. Yeah, you.
Hello, sir. I'm Chirantana Bhatt. We all consider you a miracle that has happened to us. What do you define as a miracle in your life, especially in your journey as someone who is creating miracles?
The miracle is the mind. The mind, having a strong mind, a mind which is also empathetic, a mind which is also, which has faith, which has constantly coming back to love. I think that's what keeps me going, because people gaslight you, thinking, oh, you know what you did in the 90s was good, when you did Rockstar it was good, and they come confuse you, because where were they before I did Roja? They were not there. And same thing, which when people confuse me, I feel like, I love you, but don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, the gentleman in the middle has been waiting for some time, so yeah, go ahead.
Sir, my name is Pawan. I'm from Coimbatore, and I'm a big fan of your music. So ஒரே ஒரு கேள்வி மட்டும் கேட்கணும்னு நினச்சேன். ஆஸ் அ ரேப்பராக இப்போ வந்து ஏடிகே இருக்கார்ல, அவர் வந்து அதிகமாக நீங்கள் வந்து மியூசிக் இப்போ ரேப் சைடு வந்தாவே நீங்கள் அதிகமாக ஏடிகேவை ப்ரிஃபர் பண்ணுறீங்கல்ல. ஸோ எதுக்கு அது, எதனால், லைக் என்ன இருக்கணும் அப்படி மெயினாக அவங்கள ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு, அதுதான் எனக்கு ஒரு டவுட்டாக இருந்துச்சு. ஸோ
I think mostly it's familiarity and convenience also. Sometimes we have very less time to finish a project and feel like you rap out on our own, and then we call ADK, he comes in, or we call Blaze, he comes in, and because I don't do rap music. I'm more into melody and orchestration and other stuff. So sometimes it's very effective to have rap, and yeah.
Thank you, sir.
There's a lady in the middle row. Yeah, you. Yeah, you.
Hello, sir. You have created such a milestone, but as a A.R. Rahman music composer, कौन सा गाना था जो आपके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा चैलेंजिंग था?
When I do a movie and I've done a style and somebody else comes and said, I want that same kind of song. Because it's done. So you have to think of 1,000 ways to not repeat it, but do the same thing. For instance, there's a song called Jage in Guru. And it's a melody which I'd run for Maniji, and he had it on the tape recorder. I said, hey, listen to this melody, what you've done ages back. And I heard that, what if you make this into a choral thing like Carmina Burana? And we finished that. And we had beautiful lyrics from Gulte Saab. Now, Maidan, a movie which came now, put the same thing. They put the same thing, cut it to that. Whatever you do will not match Jage, but how do I take the essence of what I've done and make it different completely? That was, if you watch both of them, you'll understand what I'm saying. So.
Okay, from this side, there's a gentleman in the floral shirt with a beard. Yeah, you. Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
नमस्कार.
Okay.
नमस्कार.
रेमन सर, मेरा नाम सुदेश सालगावकर है, मैं गोवा से हूँ, आई एम फोक आर्टिस्ट. सर, जैसे हम लोग ने आपका एक एवी देखा जहाँ पे आप एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हैं म्यूज़िक को अपने म्यूज़िकल थिएटर के द्वारा. सर, गोवा में म्यूज़िक का फोक फॉर्म है जो वन ऑफ द ओल्डेस्ट फोक फॉर्म ऑफ इंडिया है. तो क्या गोवा को सर आप चांस दे पाओगे अपने म्यूज़िक थिएटर को? और सर, ये मेरा क्वेश्चन है और मेरा एक कनेक्शन है सर कि आज की बात हो रही है लता मंगेशकर मेमोरियल टॉक, और ये जो ऑडिटोरियम है यहाँ पे वो उनके फादर साहब के नाम से जाना जाता है, दीनानाथ मंगेशकर के. तो एज अ गोवन हम लोग लता जी को लता ताई करके बुलाते थे. तो मेरा सवाल यही सिंपल है कि गोवा के फोक को सर क्या आप एडॉप्ट कर सकते?
If I get a project, yeah. If I get a project based on Goa, which I think a couple of projects came to me and I think they did take off. I always look at the root of that place, where the story is, and without messing it up, I try to build on it. And yeah, thank you.
Okay, I think from this side, there's this gentleman in the glasses. And we'll come to you after that.
Hi sir, I'm Manoj from Coimbatore. I have a lot of questions to ask, but I forget everything. Can you put an autograph on my keyboard?
Yeah, I'm going. Thank you.
Afterwards, the gentleman in the cap.
Hi Rahman sir, this is Sahil Adityarat. I am a writer, even lyric writer too. So my question is to you that I have observed, since I am a very big fan of your music since beginning, but there is much evolution in the lyrics writing of your music. If I analyze this from the beginning of your music and now, so now your music is excellent. Nobody can touch that. I think in all over the world from my point of view. But the evolution of the lyrics, the meaningfulness of the lyrics.
It's gone down.
So what?
So you want to write?
No. It will be my fortune. If I will get a chance, I will definitely write that. But how now when you create a music, how you what is your state of mind ki yeah, this lyrics writer would write this tune?
Mostly it's decided by the director, so we decide whom to work with. And so I was lucky to, in Hindi at least, I was lucky to work with Gulzar Saab, Javed Saab, Mehboob, Majur Sultan Puri Saab, Anand Bakshi Saab, Prasun Joshi, Irshad Kamal, Amitabh Bhattacharya, and some new people also, like Namni Dirk on 99 songs. So I think it's because I'm Tamil, and for me, the thoughts come from English and Tamil in my mind, but it doesn't sometimes translate in Hindi, because in Tamil you can put like 4 thoughts in one sentence. 2 words will become one thought. 2 words will become, like, for instance, if you take telephone Manipur Siripaval Ivala. So Manipur Siripaval Ivala is actually a saying. It's come from old literature. Manipur Siripaval. That means she laughs like a bell. Now in Hindi, telephone dhun mein. So it became like a cringe lyric which got popular. But also the challenge of the lyric writer was he has to sing the lip. And he had to sing the lip, and he had to come up with something very, like fun. But nowadays, I think with the AI, I think we can change all this stuff. And these are the challenges. That's why I stopped dubbing. As I put a clause there, we can't dub this one. But who's listening?
The gentleman with the beard and the glasses, yeah. You.
So nice of you, so nice of you. Yes, Dilip, I was a key witness in the year 1993-94. This is my question, that why you erase the entire song? This is a funny question. Why you erase the entire song after the recording?
Erase the entire song?
I've heard. I am a friend of Kabali. So he told once that, Dilip recorded the entire song.
Call me Rahman, thank you.
Yes.
People get confused.
So I became so stunned, why he has spent a lot of time and,
No, okay, I get it. So sometimes we do a lot of work, and sometimes work for weeks on arrangements and everything. The director comes and says that it's not working for me. And even sometimes interludes, like Shankar, he knows, he has the pulse of, when I was working with him, he had the pulse of the audience. So he said, this part is actually slowing the song, so the song is weakened here. So we chop it off. Because if we keep it, then he'll say, no, let's have like 8 bars of it, or 12 bars of it. And I said, finish. The director is the boss, because he knows, he has to listen to it 2,000 times. If he doesn't like the song, he's not going to shoot it well. So that's why.
The lady in the middle waving the hat, yeah.
Sorry about the hat. So I'm Athe, a filmmaker and journalist from Nagaland. We want to know what inspired you to make a film on Nagaland, and also if you have any interest to make a Naga fusion song.
Okay, so I told you why we made Nagaland, because I was invited as a special guest in Hornbill Festival, and I love the vibe. It's one of the most beautiful places, Kohima, and it was super inspiring because they are also reached out to us to partner for education. We adopted a whole orphanage, and we're teaching them strings there. And the kids it's been going on for 3-4 years. We'll have Naga musicians playing for us very soon.
And let's get someone from this side for a change. The gentleman in the orange shirt. I think it's orange. Yeah.
My friend actually has got a question.
Okay. Does one of you have a question?
I am a film student from Annapurna Studios. Sir, I too write songs, but I don't know what's the process after writing the songs, like composing and all. I have composed 2-3 songs also, but I don't know where to put that. So I would like to know that.
You have friends, jam with them, collaborate, bring it out. You'll have somebody waiting for you soon, hopefully.
Okay, there's a lady here in the front. Yeah. Next is you. Yeah, the lady here. You have a question? Yes, you. Please ask.
Thank you so much. I had to pull my fan out to be noticed. Anyway, I am going to start with the regular. Privilege and an honor to be here, sir. I have heebie-jeebies in my stomach to even ask you this question. This is surreal, but I wanted to ask for people who are aspiring to get into singing. What are the 3 things you would recommend? what is it that from your long journey of so many years of reinventing yourself, that you would like to put out to these people to do and follow when they are planning to launch themselves, especially with all the fishing nets of join this studio and this coaching institute and this place and that place? What would you recommend?
See, the magic of life is to know yourself. Know yourself is in art, in spirituality, in everything. What are you made for? And so if you really think that you're a singer, work towards and compare yourself, practice and come to that level. And for what a composer expects is personality in the thing, diction, and then tuning and speed. I might like a voice, and sometimes they can't take a tune and replicate. If I give a tune, like Chitraji would come, she'll just write it in 5 minutes or 15 minutes, she can sing. They're trained like that. So important to write notes and grasp the melody, not by ear, but by learning how to transcribe and write. That's very important. If you want to become a professional singer, at least playback singing, to learn the art, learn speed. Because nobody has time. You might be the best singer, you might have a great voice, but if you take time in learning, they'll say, okay, get that. Because people are pressured. The world keeps moving. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we have time for 2 more questions. The gentleman in the middle has been waiting for a while. Not you, the guy behind you. Yeah. And then we'll take one question from this side, and that's it for today.
Sir, I'm a huge fan of you. Neenga Cobra patla Tumbi Tumbi Tullalo and the song I'm a biggest fan of you. So many times I hear. நீங்க கம்போஸ் பண்ணதுல தமிழ்ல ஒரே ஒரு சாங் ஒரு ஹை நோட்ஸோட எனக்காக ஒரு வரி மட்டும் பாருங்களா. இங்க ஹியூஜ் ஃபேன்ஸ் ஆர் வெயிட்டிங் ஃபார் யூ சாங். ப்ளீஸ் சார்.
ஆன்சர் முதல்ல சொல்லிட்டேன்ல. ப்ளீஸ் சார். prepare my voice and before concerts I do.
முதல்ல சொல்லிட்டாங்கல.
சும்மா ஒரு 2 வரி மட்டும் ப்ளீஸ்.
The gentleman in the yellow.
That's the last question.
Hello sir, my name is Shan Kapadia and I'm from Maharashtra, Aurangabad. So my question is actually, being a musician, do you have any plans for bringing folk musics of different regions of India and fusioning them together, like making something fusion from...
All my life I've been doing that. Yeah, I appreciate all the sound. We use all the sounds. Like, from Tamil Nadu, from Kerala, because I feel like India is one, and sometimes you're making a movie for India. For instance, Jia Jale has Mridangam in it also, and Mridangam is a South Indian instrument. It was used for Dilse. Tabal was used a lot, and then in South, I've used a lot of Hindustani ragas like Desh and Pilu, and working on something on Bilaskani Thodi. So, for me, I think it's an emotion, and we get very strict to cultural, boundaries. It becomes boring. I feel like movies for everyone, without making it very standing out too much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.